Evening everybody, it is Sunday 21st of August and I need to crack on because I need to upload this one tonight, which is going to be a damn sight easier because I've done the very good thing of signing up to fibre broadband, and whereas a 10-minute, 12-minute video was taking me about 2 hours to upload, it doesn't even take 10 minutes. It's absolutely bloody brilliant. So I don't have to worry about doing a, what time have we got? 9:30. Normally I'd film this and it wouldn't go up until at least midnight. Whereas now, I potentially can get this up by 10 o'clock, although I'm doing another one after this, so probably not. Anyway, so, Canadian, let's crack on. With another one, and this was one that I purchased from Total Wine & More while I was over there in Orlando, and as far as I'm aware, this is exclusive to Total Wine & More. So this is called Ensign Red, however you want to pronounce it. I think this was 99 cents for this. You're looking at about, depending on where you are in America, you're looking at about anywhere between $17 and $20 a bottle. So call it $20 a bottle. This is what the bottle looks like full size, which does look a bit better than the miniature. So, as with the Ellington, which I think was also exclusive to Total Wine & More, not a lot of information about this whatsoever. It looks to be, now interestingly, on the Total Wine website, they actually have a little video, and it's not a particularly good video because it is a classic. Apparently their national whiskey buyer is talking to you about the whiskey, and they managed to give you information without giving you information. So this is a whiskey that they wanted to make a Canadian whiskey, a high quality blended Canadian whiskey. So they contacted a Master Distiller who has 35 years experience in the industry, has hundreds of awards throughout his career, and is one of the best master distillers in North America. Now, do we count Canada as North America? Are they talking about North America as in the continent? So are they counting, so is it America and Canada, or are they talking about one of the best master distillers in America, in the United States of America? I don't know. I'm guessing because I've got a feeling that this is from this is Canadian whiskey that's basically been made somewhere in Canada and then shipped down into the US and worked on there. It does actually say it's bottled by KD Distilling of Louisville, Kentucky. Now KBD, which is the Willett Distillery, who are known for doing some bottlings for other companies, they're based in Bardstown, and it's KBD, not KD Distilling. So I don't think it's them. I'm not sure who it is. Difficult to say. Possibly it's like Heaven Hill or something like that. So this video with this guy in his suit trying to sound really impressive is basically talking about they've got this master blender who's come across and he's picked these Canadian whiskies and he's blended them together, and then they were like, right, well, now we need to age it. And that was when he turned around and said, whoa, that's where you need to slow down. You've got to take your time over the aging. So they did some aging in oak casks and then they bottled it. So it doesn't say how long they aged it. There's no age statement on the label. They just aged it in oak casks. Wow, guys, that's really specific. Thanks for that in-depth information. So apparently it's a high rye mash bill. Now, being blended whiskey, it'll be a combination of corn and rye and possibly barley as well. But a high rye mash bill, when you're talking about mature, you've aged it in oak casks. If you're not giving that amount of information, what is a high rye mash bill compared to what? It's a Canadian blended whiskey. More often than not, the vast majority of that recipe, that mash bill, is going to be the corn as the base. So is it a high rye mash bill compared to other blended whiskies that still have 70% corn? And is it just, it's 70% corn, 25% rye and 5% barley, as opposed to 70% corn and 20 and 10? Or is it 70% rye? I'm willing to bet it's the former. I'm willing to bet it's high corn and then the bit that's left is high rye. And I think they're just making it a term to make it sound more impressive than it is. So Ensign Red, by the way, is the Canadian Royal Standard, which you should be able to see in the middle if it focuses. That bit there, that's the Canadian Royal Standard. So I'm not getting my hopes up, to be perfectly honest, but we'll give it a chance because it might be okay. In fact, does it say on the label? expertly blended, fine Canadian whiskey, oak barrel, slow aged, as opposed to that quick aging. Well, I suppose there is this quick aging now, because that's what things like Terrapure are doing. So on the nose, there is a bit of spiritiness, but there's actually not a bad sweetness to it. It's not massively complex. There's not bags of flavour in there. But what there is sort of sweet, not quite liqueur-y, but it's not awful. It's 40%, but there's not a bad little bit of heat on that. I'd probably pick it at like 43 to 45%. There's actually quite a nice mouthfeel to it. It's quite full in the mouth. It's still sweet, but it's almost it's like maraschino cherries and apple. Now I think they do actually, Ensign Red have at least an apple flavour, so it's one of these blended whiskies where they do flavours of it as well, which is always not a great sign if that's where the range is going. But there is a definite maraschino cherries, your cocktail cherries, where you get them in that kind of sugar solution as well. There's a definite element of that as well. It's not actually that bad. Definite maraschino cherries. This might be too sweet for some people. It's not liqueur-y sweet. But I think this is surprising me because I thought it was going to be pretty thin and not a lot to it. And actually, this maraschino cherry feel is making it quite nice. $20 seems to be a little bit steep. $17 seems much more reasonable. That is not a bad whiskey at all. I think that's going to mix okay, but to drink neat, which is what I'm basically putting these on. I've had a couple of comments already after doing like the Canadian Club and the Crown Royal, where I've had a few comments back to say, well, it's made to be mixed. It's not really meant to be drunk neat. Yes, okay, fair enough, but I'm drinking these neat as though I am a whiskey drinker. I don't really drink cocktails generally anyway. I like my whiskey neat, so I would rather drink every whiskey that I have neat. But that is pretty pleasant. That's not that bad at all. And I think it's got enough to it that it would work in cocktails. Might be a bit sickly sweet in like with Coke. And this national whiskey supplier was saying, it's a versatile whiskey. You can have it on the rocks. You don't have it on the rocks. Put the bottle in the freezer and pour it from the freezer. If you want it cold, put it in the freezer. Ice melts. You're getting too much water in it. Have a frosted glass out of the freezer. Put the damn bottle in the freezer and pour it from there. I don't put it on ice. You want it cold, don't put it on ice. Put the bottle in the freezer or put it in the fridge and pour it from there. But yeah, anyway, I digress. He was talking about, you can have it on the rocks, you can have it in cocktails, you can have it with soda water, you can have it with Coke, that sort of thing. And it would go. It would probably be slightly too sweet with Coke, but on its own, do you know what? It's not actually that bad at all. There's bugger all of a finish to it. It's got no finish whatsoever. But the fruitiness on that palate is so much better than I thought it was going to be. And it's definite maraschino cherry. In those cocktail cherries, in those jars, where you get that kind of slightly amaretto-y sugar solution. My wife absolutely bloody loves them. I can't get anywhere near it. If we go out for a cocktail, if you have a dessert that's got maraschino cherries on it and it's on my plate, I'm not going to see it. That's gone. That's in her gob. That's not that bad. Not amazing, but much, much better than I thought it was going to be. And if you can find that for about $17, and if they put it on deal at $15, yeah, I'd go for it. And to be honest, I didn't think the bottle was that bad. That's not great. But the 70cl bottle, not that bad at all. Right, that's me done. Quick rinse out, and we'll crack on with another one. Cheers.